Hi YouTube, it's Tracker Fiend here. Uh, I had a couple comments going over my previous video about packing my Frost River Junior pack. So I'm making a second video. It's basically a redo of the original video that I will be replacing, possibly replacing the original video. The main problem that I had was when I was filming that first video, I was doing it late in the afternoon, early evening, and I ended up was trying to beat the clock with the sun going down, and unfortunately I don't have the absolute best lighting in my living room, unfortunately. So I'm trying to redo this video where hopefully the lighting is a little bit better. So I'm hoping that this comes out a little bit better than the previous video. So, and I also have a couple little other things that I have added to this kit. Nothing too serious, just a couple little odds and ends here and there, and I'll explain those and show you what those are as I go on. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this thing knocked out as fast as possible, and hopefully if it helps you, great. Any questions, comments, or whatever that I could possibly change or do differently, leave them down in the comment section below, and I might take you up on it. But again, this is just a redo of that previous video because, like I said, I had received a couple comments saying that most people couldn't actually see the video itself because, as I stated, I was doing it later in the late afternoon, early evening, and I was fighting the time and the light. So I'm going to go ahead and do this video again, and hopefully it'll come out a little bit better. So bear with me. So what I have right here, I'm going to go on my Frost River Junior pack. It's a bucket style pack. There is no frame to this. I stated in the original video that with the senior model, it usually works okay with the sleeping pad. It doesn't really work all that great with the junior because it's just a little bit too long width-wise of the sleeping pad compared to the height of the pack itself. So I just keep it strapped down on the bottom with a couple Canadian jams and some 550 cord. I am planning on changing these out with some leather bedroll straps, but I don't know. I have to do a little research and stuff because I know Frost River sells bedroll straps, but I don't know how well it's going to work with this sleeping pad for the actual width. I've heard that they come up a little bit short as far as the bedroll straps go from Frost River. So, but anyway, right now it's just I typically just use a Canadian jam and some 550 cord, and it works okay. So my pack is completely empty. The first thing that goes in is this 56 liter ILBE dry bag, and it gets swapped out as a pack liner to my Frost River Junior pack and my Osprey Exos 58. It works fine in both. I do like the 56 liter model because it is orange on the inside. Makes it very easy to identify your gear, especially at nighttime when you have to use a headlamp if you're having to search for anything. It works very, very well for identifying your gear in there. And I always keep the purge valve, the vent valve, facing out away from my back so it's not sticking in the back or anything. I always keep it open to make it easier for me to vent any air in there after I have everything set up. So make sure it's all down in all the corners. First thing that goes in, spare clothes. That's spare shirts, spare pants, spare socks, spare sleeping socks, and spare liner socks. I could get a couple more things in there if I wanted to, like an extra set of, like maybe an extra shirt or an extra set of socks in there if I wanted to. But generally for clothes, up to 4 or 5 days, 6 days, is more than enough. Because what I like to do is I'll change into these when I go to sleep and wash my other clothes in a nearby creek or a stream or use spare water from maybe a canteen or whatever the case may be. I'll wash my other clothes out, hang them up, let them dry overnight, and then I just have clean clothes to wear the following morning that I slept in, and then I'll rotate them out. So it works okay. But that goes in first, down in the one corner. It helps give it a little bit of structure too. So that goes in first, right down there. Next thing that goes in is going to be my Morse pot. I have a Snow Peak titanium bowl in here, and a couple of other things in there too. I picked up a small set of tongs, and believe it or not, I actually found a small silicone spatula that I keep in there as well. So that goes in there, and I always have the base, the flat side, up against my back, so it's not sticking me in the back or anything like that. Make it a little more comfortable. It goes in just like that, and I have a little bit of a space right from the lid in the front here. So what's going to go in there now? Let's see, what am I putting there? I'm going to put my base layers, merino thermal top, quarter zip top, and icebreakers thermal leggings, and I also have my wool beanie in here as well. I'm keeping my wool beanie here right now because it's the summertime in Florida. The humidity is out, and there's really no need to have it on the top. I really don't even need these, to be honest with you, right now. But again, I'm just redoing my original packing video, so that's going to go right there, right towards the front of the Morse pot. I have my toiletry kit. There's toilet paper, hand sanitizer. There's a pack towel that I cut down, toothbrush. I think there's some chapsticks and toothpaste, mini big lighters, some toilet paper, mouthwash. Just it's pretty basic, but it's enough to get me through for several days. That's going to go again just to the front of the Morse pot next to my base layers, and I always have the drawstring of the bag facing out so I can easily remove it out of my pack. So that's in there. Let's scoot this back just a little bit. There we go. So there's that. Next thing that's going to go in is going to be my food right here. That's going in there just like that. Get this all stuffed down in there. It goes right across the top just like this. I have my water filter. I'm going to keep that out for right now. Normally I wouldn't take this right now if I were going out in this weather, because this is summertime in Florida. The humidity's out, but if I was going to take this, I'd have this just kind of loosely folded and rolled over. That would go in next in case I needed it. I just kind of stuff that all down in there, just like that. Go. So now I have that in there. Let's see, what else do I have in here? I have my water filter. That's going right here on top. I'm going to take my hammock. That goes right there on top in case I need it. My tarp, ridge line, guy outlines, and my stakes. Like I said, if I choose to bring them, sometimes I don't, because sometimes I just carve them out there out of sticks or whatever. But a lot of times I'll just keep everything together. It goes on right on the very top. Get that cinched up just a little bit. Before I get too far into this, I'm gonna take my spare water bottle, which is a 40-ounce clean canteen, right there. I'm gonna get that locked off. Right there. Have my brass. Actually, I've been playing around making a char cloth out of this tin, so I'll stuff that right down inside there. Goes down right there. Brass UCO candle lantern goes right on top. UCO stormproof matches go right next to that. Black diamond spot headlamp goes in there. I have a set of earplugs that I keep with me, just in case. You know, maybe sometimes I might take my shotgun on my rifle and go hunting or whatever. That goes in there. I have some Repel 100 bug dope, because the ticks and mosquitoes here in Florida, particularly during the late spring all the way through the summertime, get very, very, very heavy. So that's going to go in there. And the last thing that would go in here would be my Gorilla Pod. But unfortunately, you're not going to see that in here, because I am using that right now to film this. So I'm going to lock that off. And I would normally keep the Gorilla Pod stuff inside the stuff sack right here. But since I'm filming with that right now, I'm just going to stuff it down in there. I'm going to lock that off. I have my canteen 5x7 mess kit. This is my PSK canteen kit. That's always connected to my belt. Locker lap lantern. Sometimes I keep this attached to my belt or inside my pocket. But a lot of times what I do is I just stuff it down right here. It makes it in with the lanyard hanging out, so I can easily get access to it in case I need it. That's going right there. I'm going to stuff this whole thing down in here real quick. Then we'll stuff in there. I have my spare gloves, or my leather working gloves, I apologize. One right here. First aid kit, and if you want me to, I'll go over a detailed video of what I actually keep in here. It's somewhat, I don't want to say it's advanced, but it's a little bit more complete than what your typical backpacking or outdoor first aid kit would typically be, primarily because I'm using sharp instruments, axes, knives, saws, everything like that. So a lot of it is based off of stopping blood and preventing and cleaning wounds and stuff like that in case I need to, treating burns and spraying and sprains and whatnot. So, but if you like, I'll do a more detailed video going into this. I need to get a medic patch or something like that right there, first aid patch. So that goes right there on the top. So stuff this down in there. And that's pretty much everything that's going to go in there. Oops. This was a Christmas gift to me. It's a Bromwell, I think it's a 6-inch fry pan, carbon steel fry pan. It's been seasoned. I seasoned it up shortly after I got it, and it's nice. I do wish, you know, they had 2 or 3 different sizes, and I wish I would have gotten a slightly larger one, because they claimed this is supposed to be a 6-inch pan, and unfortunately I was measuring from the bottom instead of the actual outer dimension, the outer circumference on the top. So it's a little bit too shallow for my personal use. For one person, it's fine. You're just cooking 1 or 2 eggs or something like that. It's fine. It'll work fine for you. But you know, if I could do it again, I probably would have gotten the next size up, like a 7 or 8 inch pan or something like that, but that's just me. So that is going right on the very, very top. Fold these 2 strips up. Make sure that it's open, that purge valve is open, and squeeze all the air out of there. And then lock that off with the buckles. Lock the purge valve off. And I have a strand of 550 cord. I'm gonna lock that off right there. Get those rain flaps secured. I know a lot of people think that these rain flaps are designed to go up and cover more of for a expanded load out, and I guess that could work, but I've never really needed that all that often, so I just have it secured with a simple shoelace knot right there. I have my thermorized Z seat, which I use to sit on if I'm sitting down on a log, and I also use it as a kneeling pad for fire prep. So that is going to get stuffed down right behind the back here, give me some cushion to the back, so I'm not getting stuck in the back or anything like that with anything sharp or whatnot. Ground sheet, that gets stuffed right in the back as well. Get a little bit more padding. Gotta slide that down in there real quick. It's a little bit tricky. Gives a little bit more padding to my back and stuff like that from anything inside the actual pack itself. But I have that stuff there. That way, when I get to camp, if it's been raining or whatever, I can take this out and have a nice dry area to work with, so I can lay all my kit out on top of, so I can, go through it and figure out what I need and what I don't need to be using right away. So there's that. The only thing that you're not seeing in this right now that I would normally have sitting right on the very top of this would be my poncho, but my poncho right now is inside my is in my vehicle right now. So there's that. It's just a little wax canvas pouch that I picked up from Brown Dog Canvas Works, and I'm not quite sure what is in this right now. It's probably coffee or something like that. I'm not really sure, but normally I would have that sitting right inside my pack with my food, but since it's not in there, I'm going to stuff it down right here. I have another pouch right here that I primarily use for keeping things like rice and bannock or whatever the case may be. But I don't have anything in there right now, so I'm just going to fold that up. And what I'll do is I'm going to just stuff that right here. Normally, like I said, I would keep those in with my food bag when it was completely filled up with whatever I was using. So you see that's pretty much everything I have right there. The only thing I don't have on there is my ferro rod, my fire steel, which I always have connected to my belt, my tracker knife. And like I said, I've stated that I've had this knife for several years. It's done everything I've asked it to do. And it is heavy, but I haven't had any issue with it. I'm definitely looking into possibly getting a custom made woodsman knife, probably more likely from something from Adventure Sworn, but that's going to be a while down the road or something like that before I ever invest into getting something is nice and it's expensive as that. But for right now, this has been working great. I know a lot of people hate this knife, and that's fine. You can hate the knife all you want, but you know, as a one-tool option, you know, if you take the time to actually learn how to use it, that's, you know, more power to you. So, but you know, if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to use it. I haven't had a problem with it. I've been using it for the past 3, 4, 5 years or so, and it's done everything I've asked it to do, and never failed me. So, but I always have that on my belt. I always have my Cantino PSK on my belt. I always have a ferro rod with a simple quick release keychain, adapter piece to it. I'm definitely going to be changing this out for a more substantial ferro rod, because this one's getting a little bit beat up. I've still got plenty of use on it, but my only problem is I wish it was just a little bit longer, about another maybe 2 inches longer, something like that, so I can get a real solid shower of sparks coming off of there. But for right now, it's been doing okay. So, but again, I always keep that on my belt, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything that I keep inside my kit. So my Frost River Junior pack, I have my 100% Italian wool blanket that goes right on the top, right here. And what I do is I just take the lid of the pack. Let's see if I can't get this thing to work just a little bit. A little bit of a tight fit, but it will work. Try to get this thing set up just a little quick. Right here. There. Get that locked in. Squeeze this down just a little bit. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but put it down to the third hole. I might keep it on the second hole, but put it on the third hole. So there's that. Let me get this thing adjusted. Maybe get this adjusted to the third hole real quick. I had it on the second, so. There. That's my entire kit right there. I have my axe, and what I'll do is I'll normally have my axe slip right down inside the axe sleeve, and then drop the mask right behind the slip pocket right there. So that's everything right there. This was a new purchase that I picked up basically just off of Amazon. And it's got a piece of, I believe it's supposed to be deer bone, reindeer bone, or something like that in there. But it's just a small Cusca. I'm not quite sure how many ounces it is. It's not a lot. I think it's only maybe 5.5, possibly 6 ounces at the most. But it does the job. And what I've done is I ran a piece of leather through the handle. I drilled the holes out just a little bit larger, and ran a piece of leather through there. And what I did is I took the crown end off of a piece of, I believe it was elk antler. And what I did is I took a torch to it to give it some color and age it a little bit. So, and what I do is right here on the D-ring on the top of these Frost River packs is I'll slide that elk antler down, run the loop, run the loop through, and just lock it off just kind of like that right there, so it's not going anywhere. So I have but that's pretty much it. That's my entire kit all packed up, ready to go. And the only thing I'd have my, like I said, I'd have my Canteen PSK attached to my belt, my knife attached to my belt, scout style, my ferro rod attached to my belt loop or my belt, and I normally have my shamag around my neck and be out with my hat and sunglasses and be out there and hike to wherever it was that I was planning on going. Set up shop, throw my hammock and my tarp up, and start processing firewood and getting ready to start cooking or fishing or whatever it was that I was planning on doing. But that's pretty much how I pack everything up in my Frost River Junior pack. It's a great pack. It's got a good size to it. You can easily do a 4-day weekend out of this, no problem whatsoever. I can do 6, 7, maybe 8 days out of this, absolutely no problem. Once you get beyond that weak point, though, it starts at a 7-day mark. It becomes very, very difficult for you to cram enough food in there. So, plus it just doesn't have the modern suspension and stuff like that your typical pack has and stuff that your typical backpacking packs have. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind about these packs. They're tough, they're durable. You can definitely, they're heirloom quality. You can hand these down to your grandkids, and they will just take a massive beating and just keep on going. But other than that, plus I like the classic look of the wax canvas and the leather and everything. So, but again, as I stated earlier, they are frameless packs and stuff like that. So that is one thing you have to keep in mind. You do have to pack it a certain way in order so you're not having things sticking in the back and it's not pulling away from your back all that much. So, but I haven't had a problem with it. It's worked fine for me. I couldn't really tell you how much weight I actually have in this thing right now. If I had to estimate, I'd say it's probably right around 30-ish pounds, 30, 35 pounds or something like that. Maybe, give or take. It's definitely in the 30-pound range though. Because my axe, wool blanket, and sleeping pad, my axe, wool blanket, my jacket, my wool jacket, and the pack itself, all 4 of those items together, put this right at about like 14 pounds or something like that. So right about, probably more than that, probably closer to about 20 pounds or something like that. So everything else in here together, it probably putting it right at that 30-ish pound mark or so, including food. So, but that's about it. That's about everything. How I pack everything in here. And what I do is, like I stated earlier, I replaced the lashing, the side lashing, the paracord or whatever it was that was on here, with some leather latigo, and I have a toggle button here out of that same bit of Elcant leather that I have on my Cusca. So what I do is I just go ahead and just cinch that tight, lock it off with a simple bow or shoestring knot, or whatever you want to call it, and then I just repeat the same process on this side here. Snug it up just a little bit. And, get that side lashing down, compression cinched in. So that's about it. That's about everything I pack up. It's on my Frost River pack, and it's a great pack. The prices of these things are not cheap. They used to run about $280 brand new when they first came out, $250, $280 when they first came out. They have increased in price. I think they're right around like $330, $350 or something like that, brand new. So if you're interested in these packs, see if you can't find them used or something, because the brand new ones and stuff, they've gone up tremendously in price. But that being said, though, these are phenomenally made packs. You can beat the living tar out of these things, and especially if, at least in my neck of the woods, when I'm going out to practice bushcrafting skills, a lot of the environments that I'm going through a lot of thorns and brambles and whatnot, and it just takes a major beating on you and on your gear. So it's definitely is definitely worth it to have it, to have the knowing that you have that durability factor. So, but yeah, that's pretty much about everything. That's everything what I keep in some of my kit, my pack. And obviously, you know, being the summertime and stuff like that, there's, you know, being the summertime and getting close to the summertime living in Florida, there's no need for me to be taking my wool jacket or my wool blanket or anything like that. I'll probably just have maybe my hammock and possibly my tarp and my poncho with me, and maybe a spare set of clothes. But, you know, so that, you know, I would end up saving probably an extra 4 or 5, well, probably about another 8 pounds, 8-9 pounds or something like that off of the weight of this by leaving my wool bush shirt and my wool blanket off from this. But that's about everything on how I pack it up. Again, I stated earlier that I was making a second packing video because I had some complaints or comments about the lighting in my previous video. So I did it again. Hopefully it's gonna come out a little bit nicer for you. So questions, comments, let me know what you think. And you know, thanks for watching.